What is up, guys? My name is WhoGnu, and today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to create the Minecart wave machine. Now, this tutorial is super easy, super quick, and super cool. Let's get into it. As you guys can see, I've created a massive 64 by 64 wave machine, and this actually has, since it's every other block, this has 32 minecarts on the side. Row for each of my subscribers, so shout out to you guys. And 32 by 32, that is 1,024 minecarts. This thing is absolutely huge. I just wanted to create it so I could show you guys how cool the wave machine can be when it's blown up to huge proportion. Now, not all of the minecarts are going to load in, so it might throw it off a tiny bit. So here we go. I'm going to start the 1,024 minecart wave machine so that you guys can see what it looks like. Now, occasionally you will experience lag with something this massive, or some of the rows might get knocked out of whack, but isn't this just awesome? I mean, it sends like ripples down it until they eventually just kind of die down. So yeah, shout out to my first 32 subscribers. So I hope you guys appreciate how huge of a build this was and how much time it took me. Over 1,000 of these pillars were put down, and that just took forever to get them all in the right spot and everything. So I hope you guys like it. I'm now going to show you how to build your very own minecart wave machine. So first off, we're going to go over the materials. For each single column, each single minecart that you want to be launched, you're going to need one sticky piston, one slime block, 2 of any building block that you want, 1 rail, 1 minecart, and 1 redstone repeater. Now, you might look at this and say, I don't see any rails, I don't see a second building block, but these are useful in placing the minecart, as you can't just place one wherever you want. So we'll get into that in a little. You're also going to need 1 button to start off the entire reaction. Each of these single pillars is actually super easy to build. The only reason this took me so long was just that there were so many. So this is actually a really quick, really easy tutorial, and let's get into it. First off, you're going to need to take one of those building blocks. Doesn't matter what they are as long as they can pass a redstone current through them. Now you're going to put a button on there. Now that's the only button we need, so let's go ahead and just get rid of that. And this is going to be the corner one that starts off the entire reaction. So now you're going to have a sticky piston facing up, a slime block on top of that. This is what's going to bounce the minecart up and down. Now you could place rails and then your minecart right there. And then you need to come in here and highlight the rails just right so that you can break that. I'll show you what it looks like if you leave the rails on. It won't actually throw the minecart because I don't know, the rails aren't giving it the bounce that it needs. So rather than go in and painstakingly mine out that rail from inside like that for each and every single one, I'd recommend taking that second building block that I talked about earlier. Place that second building block on top of the slime block. Then you've got your rails and your minecart. Now you can just hit the block, and it's that simple. You know, it raises the hitbox from just the tiny rail hitbox to, you know, a block with a rail on top of it. Then you just can mine out the block. Now the only problem with this method is that it does drop the rail. Those will go away after a little, but yeah, that's just the one side effect. So now you've got your minecart launcher. Now it launches it up, bounces a couple times before coming down. But the cool part of the wave feature is that you have a bunch of them and they're set off a little bit. So however big you want this to be, let's say I'm going to build a 6 by 6 real quick. You're going to do, just have them every other block like this. Let's see, what is that, 5, 6, and then, so you're just going to make a simple grid like this. So if we were to do a 6x6 grid rather than a 32x32 grid, this is definitely much more manageable, and this is what it would look like. So you have every other block, you have your building block. Now you're going to run, I'm going to mine this for now just so that I can get in here easier. You're going to have redstone repeaters running out of this source block to the next two. Now if you think about how this goes, the redstone current hits this block, the repeater, lags for 1 tick. So you've got 0 ticks for when this one launches, and then each of these are going to be set off by 1 tick. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if that's a great way to explain it. Now, you can either go this way, or you can go this way. It doesn't really matter. As you can see over here, I've got them all coming off of this side. So now when you think about it, this is 1 tick, 2 tick. So this is set off 2 ticks from the original. So, 1 tick, another tick, and then another tick, another tick. You guys get the picture. So it's super easy. You just place these down in between the blocks. Just run the lines like this. And so that's what it should look like after you've got all of your redstone repeaters placed down. Now, so like I said about the ticks, if you think about it, this is 0 ticks. These are set off by 1 tick because they're each got 1 redstone repeater in between. Each of these are set off by 2 ticks because if you look at this block, there's 1, 2. If you look at this block, there's 1, 2. And if you look at this block, there's 1, 2. And so all of the diagonals like this are lined up. So there's 0 ticks, 1 tick. This row's 2 ticks, 3 ticks, 4 ticks, 5 ticks, 6 ticks, 7 ticks, 8 ticks, 9 ticks, and 10 ticks. And so that's how you get this wave pattern. The diagonals are all in sync. So you've got a straight line going this way. Now, like I said, it's a little bit offset because of the how massive this thing is. But each of these lines are in sync. And that's how you get that wave effect. Now, you can do different tricky things, different patterns. You could have ripples stretching out from the center and, going out in a circle pattern. You can have all sorts of different patterns. But for now, I'm just going to teach you guys the simple classic wave pattern. We'll save the other patterns for another tutorial. So now you're just going to build that original column on each of these blocks. So you lay down your sticky pistons, and let's speed this up a little. So you've now got the layer of building block, the layer of sticky piston. Now we're going to lay down the slime blocks. And let's speed it up again. So there you've got the layer of slime blocks. Now another layer of building blocks so that you can easily drop down the minecarts. And now for the rails, instead of clicking each and every block, you can just hold down the left trigger if you're on PlayStation, or whatever button is to place a block. And just holding that down, you can just hover over all of the blocks. Let's see if I can actually hit them. But you can just definitely go a lot faster for this step because you can just hold it down. And it's the same with the minecarts. So yeah, now once you've got all of the rails, go ahead and place down all of the minecarts. And finally, you're going to break all of the wood blocks. Now, you need to be careful at this point because you don't want to bump into any of the minecarts that you've already dropped, or the ones that are up here. You don't want to bump into any of the minecarts at all, because if you do, something like this is going to happen, and it's going to get all messed up. So if you do that, it's okay. Just, you have to repeat that step for that one. And it's, yeah, that easy. So just break all of the building blocks that are holding the minecarts. Okay. Wow, I am making a lot of mistakes today. So I mined the slime block on that one. Here we go. And once you've got all the rails broken, you can just come and pick them up if you want. Just be careful not to jump into those mine carts or anything. But once you have all of those picked up and stuff, I mean, you don't even have to pick them up. You can start the machine. There you go. You've got your wave. Now, obviously, the wave looks more impressive and more wave-like the bigger of a grid you get. So you can always add on more rows. Just make sure you keep up this original pattern that we've got here with the redstone repeaters. Don't like randomly decide, oh, I'm gonna go sideways. No, don't do that. Just, you can add as many rows as you want. Just keep this one in the corner. You know, add a row back here, add a row back here, and you can make it as big as you want. This is the exact same design, the exact same build as over there, just stretched out in both directions. Now, I would recommend keeping it a square. That'll keep everything looking nice. Otherwise, the wave will kind of look like it's going off to one side. But it should still technically work if you have a shape other than a square. It just might look a little weird. Now, before you go, another thing you want to know is that you don't want to accidentally click one of these redstone repeaters, because that will set off that entire row. It'll be, see how it's kind of up one? Let's see, let's put that up even more to take that to the extreme. So yeah, if you have one of them off like that, it's going to throw off all of them in the chain after that. So all three of these will be kind of goofed up. So you want to be definitely very careful not to mess up any of those redstone repeaters. Yeah, you can see how much those three are behind now. Now, pushing that warning to the side, you can decide to increase all of them. Just make sure that all of the redstone repeaters get hit. Now, you might wonder what this does to the machine. It just makes a bigger lag in between them. So, if this one was at 0 ticks, these would be at 2 ticks now. And then this row would be at 4 ticks, 6 ticks. So in practice, it'll make the wave more steep, more like big vertical increases and stuff like that, if that makes sense. I'll show you guys in a second. Let me just hit all of these redstone repeaters real quick. So I have now set all of the redstone repeaters to 2, and let's see how that changes the wave. So you can see what I mean. There's a bigger gap from level to level, making it more up and down and up and down, less of a smooth kind of, you know what I mean. So it'll make the, let's see, if we set them all to 3, let me just do that real quick so I can show you guys. If we set them all to 3, it'll be an even larger delay in between each one. So now each level increases by 3. There's 0 ticks, 3 ticks, 6 ticks, 9 ticks, so on and so forth. And let's see how much that changes it. So now it's very up and down, very steep waves. So you guys can set that to however you want. Just whatever preference you have. Obviously this one looks less smooth and less chaotic, especially at weird angles like this. But yeah, so there's lots of customization just by messing with the repeaters. Now I'm just going to say this one more time. Make sure all of the repeaters are set to the same tick, otherwise you're going to get something really goofy. I'm sure somebody really creative out there could come up with some sort of super well programmed, like incredible shape or something that uses different settings on their repeaters. But for anything simple and easy, as the name of this tutorial suggests, I'd recommend keeping all of the repeaters on the same setting. I'm going to make another tutorial on wave machines if this gets enough likes, so make sure to like the video, and I will do another one showing off different patterns and stuff that you can do with your wave machine, as well as some of that more in-detailed technical stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully you learned something. I hope you agree that it's super easy build and has really cool effects. So I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to leave a like if you want to see more tutorials like this in the future, and especially if you want to see a more in-depth version with different patterns and stuff like that. Share the video with a friend too if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I hope you guys appreciate the amount of time and effort that went into creating the massive 1,000 minecart wave machine. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.